It's morphin time. Pterodactyl. Hi there, this is Tata with 3 years of wrestling, bringing you Royal Rumble, bringing you the It's Wrestling Time post show. And tonight we're going to be reviewing the Royal Rumble. And then please help me welcome back from Michael Chau TV. He is the host of Runs the West Coast, Hollywood, Michael Chau.
Woo-hoo! Hello, I'm back. I'm not dead.
Cue Eric Bischoff's music. I'm back.
I'm back.
I'm better than ever.
I'm back. Thanks for having me back on the show. It's been a while.
Of course. Yeah, you went MIA for a bit, but we'll talk more about that towards the end.
But yeah,
We'll talk more about that towards
Where have I been?
end.
Yes.
So, Royal Rumble kicking off with the unusual start match of the Universal title. It was Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins to kick things off. Interesting way to start the show, if you ask me. So, one notable thing about this is that, Roman Reigns came out first. And at first, I was kind of confused because, he is champion and deserves to come out second. But it made sense because, as we all know, Seth freaking Rollins came out to the Shield entrance.
Was it Seth? I thought it was Mox. I was like, oh my gosh. People thought that Moxley was going to be at the Rumble, and there he is.
Seth Rollins coming out in the Shield attire, the music. Did you see Roman's face when the music hit? I heard Sierra, Hotel, India, Echo, Lima, Delta. I was like, holy smokes. The only thing missing, aside from Jon Moxley, was Seth Rollins' blonde hair.
Yeah. This was pretty good. I wasn't expecting it. When I heard the theme music, I was expecting him to still come out in his regular attire, but he came out. Vince McMahon said, "Oh, go to the Halloween costume down the store, get the fakest security outfit you can find."
Yeah, definitely. And before we move any further, we are going to be joined by Brett Jace Rasmussen.
There he is, the legend himself.
Yeah. Yes. Hello, my people. Hello. Oh, yeah. Hello.
Yeah. So,
I'm here for the monies.
What were your thoughts before we go any further? Michael, you start. What were your thoughts on Seth Rollins' Shield entrance?
I thought it was good. I wasn't expecting it. I like the story they told where Seth was trying to play mind games, but because I'm a nitpicker and people hate me, this Seth never actually faced Roman Reigns one-on-one. It was always the architect that kind of faced Roman, but I like the fact that they went above and beyond for it. Yeah. Cool. I liked it. Good.
Definitely. What about you, Brett? What were your thoughts on Seth Rollins' Shield entrance?
Oh, we're just talking about the entrance. Okay, so that was great. So I was very surprised that we were going to open with the Roman Seth match, but I wasn't mad. And the whole premise of this match was that Roman has never beaten Seth. So I loved it that on SmackDown on Friday, the promo before, it was this whole like Joker Batman, like he was wearing the purple suit
I peeped
with the
that.
green tie. I loved that. So then Roman does his big long 5-hour entrance. And then
Undertaker entrance.
no longer. And then Seth comes out. So you hear the bum 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 bum, like the whole Shield theme. I'm like, oh boy. And he's in the crowd. He's coming from the crowd just like Shield does. He's wearing the Shield gear, like the riot gear. And I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. I loved it. He comes in, he does the whole dive I love the mind games. It was great. I loved it.
Yes, definitely. So, to keep with the mind games, Seth does do the whole little arm thing. If you guys caught that, he did that during the match. And he also put Roman through the announce table, like he did the Shield bomb, just like how the Shield used to do back in the day. What were your thoughts on that, Michael?
I thought it was really good. This is asking too much, but since he referenced Moxley on SmackDown, a paradigm shift wouldn't have been, out of the question during the match.
Don't you mean a dirty deeds?
Dirty deeds.
No, it's a paradigm shift. Come on now. We all know what the real one is now. It's a paradigm shift.
But it was good. I like the nice callbacks. I don't know if I'm jumping the gun, but I was not a fan of the ending of this match. I personally would have booked it of Seth going for the Shield fist bump, and Roman going, okay, he fist bumps him, and then he pulls him straight into the choke. I thought that would have been a lot better, but they did what they did, and I predict, I was talking to you during this match, Datila, they do this a lot. Saudi Arabia, that's around the corner. They love to do rematches, and this most likely will be a rematch in Saudi Arabia.
Thoughts on Brett? What are your thoughts on the overall match of the finish?
This match was great. I was so entranced with it. There was so much drama and just good wrestling and everything about it. Why? I'm sorry. You're probably hearing Impact happening in the background. I apologize. But because I want to watch good wrestling. But anyway, this match was really, really good. This match was great up until the finish. Like, I actually don't mind how they did it where I love the fist bump that Seth was doing, and he's like, oh, come on, brother, come on, like the whole thing. But then he's like, no, like I'm smarter than you. And then I actually did like Roman goes into the guillotine, gets Seth, and Seth is about to pass out. So then the ref lifts his arm, and then he drops it, but he drops it on top of the rope. That was great. I really like that. Now, I just want to make sure, because I don't know if I caught the finish. It's a DQ finish for Roman to lose, but Seth to win, so that way Roman can keep the belt. But the reason that it was is because Roman didn't let go of the guillotine, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
5 count.
That is bull. That is complete and utter bull. I hated that. Seth passing out is totally fine. You have him in the guillotine. Seth passes out like he's on the rope or whatever. You could have that was really cool. You could have then had Roman pull him away or something. I don't know. But Seth losing there is nothing wrong with Seth losing, because Seth loses nothing as being a star or looking great. And Roman still gets to keep the belt, blah, blah, blah. But of course, because it's WWE, because they always have to 50-50 book everything, of course they have to do a DQ and go ahead and do this. And then you had a whole beatdown angle of and it was fine, but by that time, I'm like, I don't care. Oh, great. Roman's getting a chair, going to do the same spot as when Seth betrayed the Shield, taking the chair to his back and beating him up and I hate that. I hate WWE's whole need to endlessly make nothing matter and 50-50 book this. This match was perfect. This match had me at the edge of my seat. I was excited. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then you have to 50-50 book everything. And God, I hate that.
Michael 101591 says the match was good, but everybody complained about the ending. Do people know if Roman lost, if flushes down everything Dirty has done to me? But he does bring a point. Roman was not going to lose this match. This was a great match. You guys both bring up both good points how this match was a great match. I would not have been upset if Roman Reigns defeated Seth Rollins. Clean. I would not have been upset, because that's what I thought was going to happen. So I guess the way I can interpret the finish would be that Roman wanted to punish Seth for saying that his family was a joke, that the bloodline was a joke. And he was, because you're supposed to let go, and he didn't want to let go.
You could have just had it be a KO finish. You could have, he passed out. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Seth, you didn't need to do a DQ finish. That was the most...
The match went to a DQ because Roman couldn't lose. And I have to agree, Michael, there's going to be a rematch at Saudi Arabia.
The story could be told that Roman psychologically saw that he couldn't defeat Seth Rollins, so he DQ'd himself. He's like, I'm gonna choke this guy. I'm gonna take this wussy way out because I don't believe I can beat him. And most likely, honestly, Roman will beat Seth in Saudi Arabia.
Then that doesn't mean then the story that they were telling of Roman being able to beat Roman's mind games, like that doesn't make sense either. Like with the way, like honestly, everything the way that this match was built to be like Roman proves himself to be able to beat Seth at his mind games. I'm smarter than you. Da 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 da. They're equal on wrestling strength, wrestling prowess.
Even Michael 101.591 agrees with Michael. Chau. Rematch will be coming at Elimination Chamber in Saudi Arabia.
And that's because of how they booked it. That's because of how they went, oh, let's do a DQ finish so we can 50-50 book this thing, because we have no plans to do literally anything else up until Mania because of what happens at the end, and we'll get there. But you could have had Roman still beat Seth, and Seth go, you could literally on Raw or whatever, Seth can come out and go, he may have got the best of me, but I still got in his head. He had to do that to me. Like, I never tapped. That's the thing. If Seth tapped, then, like, there's that. The thing is that Seth never tapped. If you had Seth never tapped, you could still do a rematch, and then you can do a whole shebang of that. You don't need a DQ finish. You truly do not. If you want to do a rematch with Roman and Seth, fine. But you didn't need to do a DQ finish. And that's when you make nothing matter. DQ finishes are fine when it matters, when it makes sense, and when it matters. But when you do DQ finishes all of the time that WWE does, and then do this in a match that's just drama, and like I thought it was almost perfect, like just how it was laid out, how the characters were, how Roman is in history, and all of that. But you gave a DQ finish, making it mean that none of this matters. None of this matters. That's what I mean. You should have had Roman beat him so he keeps the belt. And the reason that Seth passing out means that he never tapped. So that way you make Seth look strong and Roman look strong.
Yeah. Okay. So then after that, we had the Women's Royal Rumble. Let me see. Before we go dive in, Michael 101.591 says Seth coming out to show music and attire felt nostalgic. Definitely.
And it was perfect. I love that. I love that. Like, it was the nostalgia pop, but also it made sense storyline wise, in character and everything.
Yeah, definitely.
Loved it.
All right. So the Royal Rumble kicked off with number 1, Sasha Banks, who was just a Sailor Moon. Love that attire. I love Sailor Moon.
That was great.
Number 2 was Melina, and they did her dirty. I will say they did Melina dirty. She started crying, got emotional, and then got eliminated. Michael, thoughts on Melina getting eliminated that way?
I mean, one of the best entrances ever, and they went all the way with the red carpet and the paparazzi. They kept going back to Sasha because I think she had a little bit of trouble getting off her jacket or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, you know what? This is gonna sound incredibly harsh, but she's there to get eliminated. They released way too many people, so they had to find people to invite in. I even heard they had people on standby because of COVID. I heard Jillian Hall was backstage. There were people they invited in just in case COVID went through and people couldn't perform, and they had people on standby. But it was good to see Melina again. Maybe you guys know, because I particularly don't watch. Melina's still active, right? She wrestles for NWA?
Yeah, NWA.
Yeah. So I don't know why she went out so fast, but it is what it is. It was great to see her, and hopefully we get to see her again. There were rumors saying that she got re-signed a year ago, but obviously that was probably just rumors. But
Michael 101.591 says, my God, that Women's Rumble was a complete disaster as I was expecting it to be. I bet all the guys are wishing she was wearing her old attire, huh?
Sure.
Melina's old attire?
Sure.
All right. So another memorable entrant from the Rumble. I have to say the first one. Let me see. We had quite a lot. I would say number 13, Cameron.
Daughtry, do you have the list going in order of who comes out?
Oh yeah, I do. But like I told Michael, if we sit here and go through every entry, we're gonna be here all night.
That's fine. Just go. Okay, so you got that. Who's next? Number 3. You could just go through the list and then you can choose the spots where you want to stop. But what was number 3?
Okay, fine. Number 3 was Tamina. Mm-hmm. Number 4 was Kelly. Number 5 was Aaliyah. Number 6 was Liv Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Before that, though, before we move on, Sasha Banks did the 3 Amigos to Aaliyah. Anybody else catch that?
Yeah. No, I did not.
I did.
That's rad.
Steve saying men's women's was better than men's. Well, we'll talk about both Rumbles after.
So
number
Aaliyah.
7 was Queen Zelina. 8 was Bianca Belair. 9 was Dana Brooke. 10 was Michelle McCool or Mrs. Taker.
Sure.
11 was Sonia Deville. 12 was Natalia. 13 was Cameron. 14 was Naomi. 15 was Carmella.
Okay, let me stop you right there. So you have Sonya Deville comes out at what, number 10 or something?
11.
11. Okay, so Sonya comes out and does the whole thing, and you have a few spots and whatever. But like one of the things that I found frustrating about this, because you had Cameron, who was a Funkadactyl, come out, and then I think it was Sonya eliminates her, because when Sonya comes out, she sees everyone in the Rumble, goes, I'm going to commentary. And I love that. I love it. So she goes off and sits at commentary, and then Cameron comes in. She gets up and goes into the ring to start the Rumble for herself. She eliminates Cameron, and then Naomi comes out next. I did not like that, because you could have straight up and had I'm like, fine, I guess it makes sense because Sonya gets rid of Cameron, then Naomi goes in. But like, you could have had a whole Funkadactyl reunion, and you had who there were 3 of them. It was
Brodus Clay. He was
I thought there was a 3rd Funkadactyl. I know. No. Okay.
No.
Well, anyway, you completely missed that entire spot. You could have had like Cameron was on the edge. Sonya's beating her up. Here comes Naomi because she's literally up next. She comes in for the save. You can still have Sonya eliminate Cameron, but at least you have the 2 of them go, oh hey, we're buddies, remember? And you could do that. There were so many missed spots.
I'm sorry, I had to laugh at this comment. Michael 10159 says when Summer Rae got eliminated, Doudrop should have rewrote her so-called legend.
I mean, like, that's fine. I honestly look, I have no problem that like she's called a legend in WWE, because legend just means alumni. There is no like defining meaning to the word legend. She's just, I was in WWE, I don't wrestle there anymore, hence legend. Like that's it. It's just alumni. That's all it means. So I'm not as mad as other people are. But
I agree. It's like, guys, come on, relax. She's never going to get into the Hall of Fame. They have Raw Legends Night. You're not going to criticize everyone who appears on Legends Night, right?
So you have that spot. So Cameron, Naomi, what else?
Do you have anything to say about the potential Funkadactyl?
Yeah, I totally agree with Brett. Missed opportunity. I don't like someone who nitpicks. I don't like the setup, because Sonya Deville sits at the commentary table. Corey Graves points out the fact that Cameron and Naomi used to be friends, and then she goes, "What? Huh? They used to be friends? Well, I'm gonna do something about that." And I'm like, you're the authority figure. Shouldn't you know who's in this Rumble, and shouldn't you know who her friends are?
They even called Alicia Fox a legend. We'll get back to that comment, Michael. All right. So
so what is Sonya Deville gonna go after everyone who Naomi tags with or is friends with? It's kind of stupid.
And one of the I know that Naomi gets eliminated much later than when she comes in, because like Cameron gets eliminated like that, but Naomi's in it for like I think into the 20s. She's almost eliminated. She's doing the whole Kofi spot. She's doing like she's the Kofi, like she's about to go ahead and do these like, oh my god, I almost died, but I caught myself. But then Sonya denies her and it's like, haha, pulled your legs, I screwed you, haha. So we're going to be getting Sonya versus Naomi until Mania.
Oh god.
We have been having this for 153 days. We've been having this since August 27th, before SummerSlam, before All Out. That was when Bryan Danielson and
let's try to stay on topic.
I'm just saying, we have had this feud longer than any storylines happening.
And
they're on step 1. They haven't even moved the storyline forward. They've been on step 1.
They've moved it forward because we've already had Naomi versus Sonya Deville twice.
By
the way,
I was there live for the first part.
But none of it matters. What? The next step in the storyline is that Sonia goes, "Oh, I have this jacket on. You can't fight me."
Rally War Sports says Rally Sports Rally says biggest surprise of the night. Sarah Logan. She's always at AEW supporting Ruby Soho. Thought she was signing with AEW. Nope. Released by WWE. Had a baby back. Full circle. Michael 101591 says if WWE called Summer and Alicia Fox Legends, they should have called you a Legend too. All right.
I'll get to Sarah Logan, but yeah, keep going.
Okay, so then after Naomi was Carmella, Rhea Ripley, Charlotte. Hold on, I'm going to stop it because I want to talk about the next one. Ivory coming out with her right to censor attire and the microphone. And not only did she get eliminated by Rhea Ripley, she was still talking on the microphone as she was getting eliminated. I really like this little spot. I love it. Michael, you go first. What were your thoughts on Ivory coming out with her RTC uniform?
It is such a legendary entrance music. Once I heard it, I'm like, well, she's coming out. This is asking too much, and it's way too much money. But it would have been great if they gotten Steven Richards, the Good Father, Bull Buchanan, wherever he's at, Val Venus. Get the whole crew out there, even though she's going to get eliminated in a couple of seconds. This is another, what was it, Vicky Guerrero Royal Rumble entrant for a couple of years back. It served what it served. It's great to see her. Kind of doesn't make sense because Ivory was in the Rumble before as her regular self. So
I had a flashback to 2000 Right to Censor. What the hell is going on? Oh my god, I popped and that's so good. Yeah, I popped too. Right to Censor.
And she's in her 60s.
No?
I'm Ivory? I'm pretty sure.
Maybe. No. Let me Google. Give your thoughts on Ivory coming out to RTC while I Googled that, Brett.
Oh, I loved it. I adored it. Like, she came out and I'm like, hey. Yeah. Born November 26, 1961. Yep.
Oh, yeah, wow.
She's old.
Oh, yeah, she is.
Looks great. Wow. She looks great.
She looks good.
Ooh, I'm like when Sting showed up, I was like,
that was awesome. Hearing a Right to Censor when Ivory came out of the childhood. Yeah, childhood right there.
So I loved it. Great spot. Go on.
Okay, so number 19 was Brie Bella, and she did the yes chants. The yes.
She got yes chants. That was great.
Yes. Number 20 was Mickie James, and I want to talk about this. Let me go first, you guys. Oh. Mickie James coming out to Hardcore Country, rocking the Impact's Knockouts Championship. The pop that she got, although it was a botch because if you read the title, they put Impact Women's Champion when it's Knockouts, but I am
still the woman's belt. Who cares?
She lasted as long as she did and was not done dirty by WWE.
Oh,
Michael, you go first. Michael, you go first.
I thought she was gonna get tossed out. I thought she was gonna be a very fast elimination. I was watching this with my brother, and I was like, honestly, it was good they allowed the entrance music and to let her walk out with the title. I mean, it's not like it's an AEW superstar here. Impact, it's I don't think it's a company, and this is not a jab. I don't think it's a company that WWE needs to fear that they cannot, let them walk out with the championship or let her use her entrance music. It would have been nice if she was part of the Final Four. I had talked to you earlier, Datila. It would have been cool if Mickie and Charlotte had started off the Rumbles to see the SmackDown champion go face-to-face with the Impact champion. But it was good. It got people talking. Not to jump the gun. It was the only forbidden door of the night. But it was good. Hopefully they do more. I hope that this is the start because the Royal Rumble has been done so many times. What can you do different? It's a little bit of taste of what we can do. Next year, I don't know, maybe AEW. We'll see.
Let me see. Oh my God! Wow,
they're not going to do it, but
Jesus. Also, Kelly Kelly gets younger than what she's for fitness model. Brie mode, aka sleep mode. All right, Bray, you can go.
So, again, part of the deal, the whole reason that they got Mickie is because, oh no, we fired everyone. What should we do? Let's get it. They tried, there was a report where they got a hold of the Inspiration asking them to come to the Rumble, and the Inspiration were like, nah, we're good. Not the time, whatever it would be, but they chose not to come back, and I don't blame them. I think there's with Mickie.
Michael 101591 saying, having Mickie in the Rumble, I think that was their day's apology to Mickie after they released her and sent her gear to her house in a trash bag.
they've already apologized to her. Like, it happened, and the internet found out and everything like that. And then WWE, like, I think Vince McMahon called her, personally apologized to her, fired the guy who was like in charge of like getting gear to, because that wasn't the only woman who that happened to. I think that happened to Melina, that happened to Maria, just in a few, and that dude got fired right away. So that was like, Mickie James has had no bad blood with WWE, and also she's very much a businesswoman. Hence why she's in NWA and also in Impact, and now she was in the Rumble and all of that kind of stuff. So, and I popped so hard because like she came out with like just looking at her, like she had like her gear, she had the Knockouts woman belt, like the Knockouts belt. She came out to Hardcore Country, which is great, which is a better theme than her old one. I love her old theme, but Hardcore Country is Mickie James. Like, that was perfect. And like I will say, like, when she got into the ring, I thought she got like knocked out, but she didn't go over the rope. You have to go over the rope in order to get like to start yourself. She got up to the rope. I think she got knocked out by like someone, or I think maybe Charlotte. I don't even remember. So I thought like she got done dirty, but no, she actually never entered herself in yet. And then there were tons of great spots with her. Like, it was her, Natalya, Lita. Like, there were tons of great spots with her being in it. I think she lasted until maybe the final 6 or final 8. I would have loved to see her be in the final 4. But I love Mickie James. She has been my favorite women's wrestler since like forever. Like, top 5, period. But
I love Mickie Hardcore Country. Did not think WWE would do that, and did not think Vince would let her bring the title. She's so good. I think Triple H, Stephanie, Vince said sorry recently.
No, this was part of their deal. This was part of the deal because again, they needed women to come back, just like we got Sarah Logan later in the match. And that was a great thing to see too. And I love that.
So before we move, sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
I would say before we move on, to add to the points you said about the spots, it was actually Michelle McCool, and I actually like that because you guys recall one of Mickey's finals feuds before she got released originally was against Slade Cole when they were calling her Piggy James. So that's kind of like the throwback. Mm-hmm. And the fact that Lita eliminated her, I guess you can say it's Lita's payback, because if you guys recall, Lita wrestled Mickie James in her final WWE match, and which was a match that Mickie James won. Yeah. So that's probably like a callback to that.
Yeah, that was great.
And honestly, I'd rather glad that it was Lita and not somebody else, because they have history.
Yeah.
So after Mickie James was Alicia Fox, Nikki ASH, Summer Rae, Nikki Bella, Sarah Logan at number 25.
I loved it when Sarah Logan, because Liv was already in the match. Sarah comes in. I pop so hard because I love the Riot Squad. She comes in and Liv is right there and she sees Sarah. I very much believe that was a shoot where like she had no idea Sarah Logan was in this, and you saw them both just kind of like reacting like, oh my God, we're finally here. It's been a while. And then you got, I think it was the Bellas who put the heat, and they were the one who stopped the kind of like the embrace or whatever. I think it was the Bellas.
Michael, you got anything to say about that?
No, I mean, it's good to see her back. Yeah, it's good to see her back. Would have been cool if she was out there with her husband. Viking Raiders had escorted her out to the ring, but whatever.
Yeah. So we got a Team Bella spot with Alicia Fox and the Bella twins. Anybody catch that?
Yeah, I did. I laughed at that. That was great.
I was glad to see Sarah Logan again. They posted their social media of Sarah and Liv in the back, and it was very emotional. Oh, I gotta check that out after this.
Yeah, no, I saw the thumbnail. I need to watch that.
So then number 23 was Summer Rae, number 24 Nick. Oh, you said that. 25, 26 was Lita, 27 Molly Holly getting beat up before she entered the ring. Actually, I shouldn't say Molly Holly. I should say Mighty Molly.
It was Mighty Molly.
By Nikki ASH, one superhero to another.
I loved it.
Michael, if you don't mind, I'm gonna let Brett go first on this one. Go ahead, Brett.
I loved it. I like Mighty Molly comes out, and I love her. And then like Nikki she came in earlier, so they doing this whole thing with like Nikki and Rhea that they're doing and stuff like that. And Rhea looked phenomenal in this match. Like oh my God, she looks so powerful. I loved it. But I really like this whole Like, you saw the two heroes. You see the good guy of Mighty Molly and now Nikki ASH going at it. That was great. I loved it. I love Mighty Molly. I love Molly Holly. She's a pioneer to women's wrestling. I love her. I loved it.
What about you, Mike? What did you think on that?
No, it was really, really good. When they played the music, I'm like, oh, well, maybe they might do something in the match with Nikki ASH. I didn't think that she was gonna rush her straight off the bat. There could be potentially a match down the road because I know Molly Holly works backstage as a producer now. So, well, we'll see. We'll see. I'd be down with it.
So after Molly Holly was, well, I'm jumping the gun a little bit, but was number 28, Rowdy Ronda Rousey, making her grand return to the WWE. Number 29 was Shotzi, and number 30 was Shayna Baszler. Before anybody says anything, before we talk, I want to say, I like the spot between Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey. Like, as soon as Shayna Baszler came out, they had that look.
Oh, that was great.
The alliance. But I would have switched Shayna and Ronda. I would have made Shayna number 28 and Ronda number 30. That's just me personally. But Michael, you thoughts on that that whole situation before we talk about who won?
Listen, we knew. I mean, she was gonna be there. I mean, if you read wrestling news and whatnot, several people spotted her. They've gone as far as saying she's confirmed, whether she's still on contract because she took all that time off or she signed a new contract. It is what it is. It's business. For people who are upset, who says that Ronda shows up one night, gets the win. Listen, WWE is all about business. To take it back to the Rumble where Batista won, WWE needs the publicity. They're most likely gonna do Ronda versus either gonna be Becky or Charlotte.
I'm betting it's Charlotte.
Yeah.
I'm so betting it's Charlotte because of when Ronda shows up, and I actually like that Ronda comes first at lucky number 27, and then Shayna Baszler comes 28. I'm sorry, I thought it was 27. And then Shayna comes out as number 30. I actually like that better because you have the reaction of everyone going, "Oh my God, it's Ronda! She's back!" And then Shayna comes out, and that way you have that spot because if Shayna comes out before her. And we have seen how they book Shayna Baszler. You wouldn't have the same kind of reaction. Ronda coming out before Shayna, it allows everyone to have the big pop. You also allow Ronda look strong. We all knew this, but Ronda looks great. I love another spot. I loved it that Brie beat Nikki. Like they knocked over Alicia Fox, and then Brie turns on Nikki because they're acting like heels. But you get Brie a payoff for Brie Bella from like years ago. So that was nice. I like that. But Ronda just wrecking house, wrecking shop. That was great. Your final four was what? I think it was Charlotte, it was Ronda, it was Bianca and Rhea?
Okay. Charlotte, Bianca, Shayna, and Ronda.
That was it. And like that was great. And like, look, Ronda winning, I'm actually not as mad about it as I am about the men's one, and we'll get there. I'm not as mad about Ronda. Yes, Ronda wins because of course she does. We knew that she was going to be there because her hair, like reports of her like being spotted there. Her hairdresser is going to be there for Rumble and Raw. So like it was pretty much about to happen. I still popped really hard. I'm like, oh, she's here. But I'm not as mad about Ronda winning because we haven't seen her since 2019 Mania? Yeah, 35. Since Mania 35. And she comes out and wins the Rumble to fight whoever she wants at Mania. And you have stories set up between like her and Rhea and Charlotte and Bianca. Like you could literally go anywhere. That was and you can set up stories with that. But from what we saw in the Rumble, it's going to be Bianca fighting Becky at Main. It's going to be Bianca winning the Chamber, so that way she can fight Becky. Somehow, some way, we're going to finish the storyline from SummerSlam, because duh. And then WWE finally get their godforsaken match of Ronda versus Charlotte, because we never got that because of
Actually, didn't we get that at Survivor Series because Becky couldn't compete?
Yeah, but that's not for belts. That doesn't matter. That doesn't count. They want belts. That's like they want one-on-one Charlotte Ronda, 4 belts, blah blah blah. Like,
all right. So before we move on to the ending of the Women's Royal Rumble, we got a couple comments. Alicia Fox actually can still go with them long legs and kicks. Also, Michelle McCool looked good, been training with Taker for weeks, quite tall with her long legs and stuff. Michael 11591 saying it was awesome seeing Ronda come out. Glad she's back. He goes on to say at the same time, Ronda winning is showing that WWE can't build new stars and they don't care about the women's division. Probably, I don't know.
They don't care about the women's division when Ronda isn't there.
I wanted Alexa to come back after offer segments as a goddess because they're the trademark goddess this week. Massive Alexa fan work. Amazing. Not many women could have done that on the women's roster. I thought Sasha Bianca winning, but Sasha returned earlier than expected in an ankle injury. That maybe that's why she not lasted long. Do you agree? Probably. Okay, so the final two were Charlotte and Ronda. I have to say it was kind of lackluster the way it happened because I was expecting them to go for at least a couple minutes, but nope. Ronda eliminated Charlotte pretty quickly, very quickly. She eliminated her, and that was it. She pointed the sign, match was over. But I don't know. I mean, they did say she's gonna be on Raw, so it makes me think she's gonna pick Becky.
No,
she's gonna be on Raw.
She's going to be on Raw because it's the next show after the Rumble, and this is when they go, ooh, who do I choose? Do I choose Becky or do I choose Charlotte? Ooh, I don't know. Ooh. Like, she's not decided. I would be surprised if she decides at Raw. Like, and mind you, I do want Becky versus Ronda. Like, I'm not mad that Ronda's going to be doing this. The only like, Ronda chooses Charlotte, going to be a good match. Ronda chooses Becky, going to be a good match. Does not matter. I'm betting money on Charlotte because that's just what WWE wants to do, because they have never gotten it officially at Mania, because that's what they want. But I am happy that Ronda's back, because when Ronda was around, that was when the women's revolution truly started. That's when we got Evolution. That's when we got like tons of different women's storylines that mattered, not Naomi and Sonia feuding for 5 months. Whatever the heck is happening with the non-existing women's tag division, because no one's a tag team in the women's division. Just now with Ronda being here, I pray to God that WWE gives a crap about the women's division now, because now you have your big star. But I'm not mad at Ronda winning. I'm actually not. I'm not mad, but this Rumble as in it of itself, good spots, but it was just fine. It was fine. It was, as MJF has said, mid.
Michael, what are your thoughts?
I agree. This wasn't the best Royal Rumble. The question is, okay, if not Ronda, then who? You know, so if Ronda never came out, who do you think would have won? A lot of people say Bianca Belair, but you know,
it would have been Bianca.
Yeah.
Or Liv.
No, I don't. The way they book her, I don't see it. I would like to see Liv, but I can't see that.
The ending, you and me talked about Statila. I predicted the reason why they did it like that is because they didn't want the fans to start turning on Ronda, so they had to end the match immediately to be like, well, we don't want a situation where the fans who don't like Ronda, she comes back for one night, she wins the Rumble. We need to end this match immediately before the fans start booing her. I think more so it is going to be Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte at WrestleMania, because if you do Ronda versus Becky, she's going to get booed again. And that's something that I hope WWE are idiots, but they never learn from their mistakes, and hopefully they learn this time. Charlotte is a better person to book as a heel to try and get the fans on Ronda's side than having her go against Becky. People want Becky versus Ronda, but you don't want to make that same mistake again, right? So
you're correct. Becky's going to get
Ronda versus Becky. Want to see a rematch between on Becky, Charlotte versus Lita. MJF will lose Wednesday. Yeah, we all know that. 4 out of 10. thought Lita was going to win. 5 out of 10 for Ronda. I kind of did think Lita was going to win originally when they set up that spot with Charlotte. But once I heard the rumors that Ronda was coming back, I was like, no, Ronda's winning.
Yeah, Ronda's winning.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So that's the first Royal Rumble of the night. We still have one more to go. So, and after the Women's Royal Rumble, we had, let me see. Michael 101591 says that match was a 1 out of 10 for me. We'll talk about over the overall rating at the end. Mm-hmm. The Raw Women's Championship match in Becky Lynch versus Doudrop. I have to say this match was predictable. One of two predictable matches. I gotta hand it though, it wasn't a bad match. Doudrop really took it to Becky Lynch, but I think that we knew no matter what, Becky Lynch was going to be victorious in this match. There was not 1 ounce of me that thought, oh my God, Doudrop's actually going to win this. Nope, because I knew Becky Lynch, no matter what, was going to win this match. But I will say I do appreciate the fact that it was a clean finish. Michael, your thoughts?
This was not a good match. It was not a good match. I felt like it was a match suitable for a episode of Monday Night Raw. The wrestling was okay. It suffered from a bad placement on the card. To go after this long Women's Rumble match, the crowd was absolutely dead. I felt bad for both women. It was a transitional opponent for Becky. The ending was fine. I do like the rock bottom off of the top rope. I call it the rock bottom because it's not the manhandle slam. Because if you remember, her old manhandle slam used to come from the back. And can I just say, this is not a jab at Becky Lynch. I don't like her with the rock bottom. You see certain moves where you're like, this doesn't look good with this person. And when you see Becky Lynch try and do rock bottom to someone who's taller than her, like Bianca Belair, it just looks awkward. Give her a new move. This is not a jab. Rock bottom doesn't look good with Becky Lynch. And that's all I have to say about that. Not a good match.
What about you, Brett?
This match was fine. Like, I agree with Mike. It's like this was a better than your normal Raw match, but it still was a TV match. Like, this match was fine. We knew what was going to happen. I did like the offense that Doudrop had, but yeah, this match, and like no matter what went after, you either would do this match or you would do the
mixed tag match.
The mixed tag. This is probably the better way to go, I guess, because everyone was like, yeah, we know what's going to happen. Yeah, here you go. Again, it was fine, but I just whatever.
All right. So before we move on, let me help welcome Canada's greatest export, Steve Chalad.
That Becky Lynch match it's all right, but we knew the outcome, so I wasn't really paying much attention to it.
Yeah, this was kind of a bathroom break match, honestly. So, surprise, surprise. After this match, we got the WWE Championship match, Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley. But before we got, I think it's what you said, Michael. People were dead during that Becky Lynch match, so they wanted to hype up the crowd again. So I will say, I think it was a total of 2, 4. I counted 6 German suplexes to Bobby Lashley. I could be wrong though. I don't know if anybody else has anything different. But I actually really liked the beginning of this match. You know, they were both in a headlock, and this was kind of a dream match come true. Now, of course, you know, somebody has to lose their match. Roman technically lost his, but he kept his title. So, Bobby Lashley defeating Brock Lesnar with the assistance of Roman Reigns, Paul Heyman, and the WWE Championship belt. So I have to say, I kind of feel like that overshadowed this match a little bit. I'm happy Bobby Lashley won, and I'm happy we're not getting a title versus title winner take all match at WrestleMania. I'm happy about that. But I just feel like that involvement really kind of overshadowed it a little bit. But, you know, again, happy Bobby Lashley won. I wish it would have been a straight, clean finish match. But, you know, it sets up Roman versus Lesnar. Michael, you go first. What are your thoughts on overall this match, on Roman and Paul Heyman assisting Bobby Lashley and the finish to this match?
All right. Well, this might sound, I don't think it's controversial, but we've never seen Lesnar versus Lashley before. I would have preferred having it at Mania. to be completely honest.
Same here. I think all four of us would have agreed on that.
Yeah, because I mean, let's face it, we've seen Roman versus Lesnar how many times, and in this new feud, they've already faced each other. Other than that, some stuff I noticed that Bobby was actually shaking hands with the crowd, so he might be turning babyface. I don't know if that's the way that they're booking him now. I agree. I didn't like the end of the match. It kind of takes away from the fact that Lashley's win over Lesnar's kind of tainted. If I booked it, you can still get Roman involved. I would have had Roman kind of beat up Lesnar before the match. That way Lesnar's not at 100%, and it would allow Lashley to get a clean finish. And you could be like, well, Lesnar was not at 100%. Roman beat him up before the match backstage. So it would have allowed Lashley to be a good champion, get the clean victory over Brock. It is what it is.
Michael Chau creative for the win.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, the match was what it was. I like the beginning. Like, honestly, they really, told the story of these two. I like the vintage they showed of their background. I like the legit wrestling at the beginning. But for someone of Brock Lesnar's capacity, the amount of time he can spend in a match, this match went exactly the way I thought it was going to be, including the ending where Roman got involved. This match went the way, honestly, I didn't want to go that way, but this match eventually went the way that I thought that they were going to book this.
Match, Michael 101591 says match was a disappointment. Brett, I can see you holding your tongue, so you can go next.
So this match was not about Bobby Lashley. This match was not about Bobby Lashley. The story of this match that they were building to is that who are you, Lashley? And Lashley's like, you've been ducking me this entire time. Bobby's like, who are you? Are you Roman? No. Are you a big guy? Are you a top guy? No. Who are you? Hence the whole him telling Paul Heyman a knock joke and Bobby who. That was beautiful. I love that. But anyway,
I make Brock Lesnar wannabe.
Yeah, that was great too. But I will say, that wasn't the story that was being told in the match, so I do agree with that. But I do not mind, and I really, really loved the drama that was happening. So Ref gets hit, he gets hit in by, and then Beth gets hit by the boot by an F5 onto Lashley. Ref is out. Now Roman comes out to beat up Brock to pretty much have Lashley get the win. And then what I loved about this is that he asked for the belt to Paul. And Paul stops and he hands the belt to Roman. And then Roman hits Brock with the belt. And then Paul leaves with Roman. And I'm like, ooh. That has been the storyline that we have been following since forever. That's the storyline. So we had the way they wanted to do it. And what I have loved to see, just a straight up and down, 10-minute just hoss match between Brock and Lashley. Oh my God, yes. I still got that. I still got a taste of it. Whether WWE does that or not, I don't see it in the cards, at least anytime soon, if they do. But I do not mind the way the match happened, because you still got a clean finish. There was no DQ, which, thank God.
Whatever, my hair's out.
But it was I saw this as more of just the drama. And again, this pay-per-view was the Roman show. This was the Roman and Brock show. This entire pay-per-view was that story. Fine. And but with this happening, I agree. I would have wanted to see more. The match itself was fine. I really was more interested in what the story that was being told between Roman and Paul and that. But you had to have a way to make Lashley win the belt, but not make Brock look weak. There's a billion other ways you could do it, but that's the way they went. Fine. I'm not as mad at it, but could it have been done better? Yes. Again, this was fine. It was fine. You had a good hoss match. You had the storyline that they've been telling for a while. It does not surprise me at all that they just forgoed the entire. It's not about Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley is third or fourth or fifth in the storyline or as priority when it comes to this. Just like Big E when he held the belt, which, like, there's so many people that we want as, like, make them matter, but WWE goes, nope, it's these guys. That's why they're lower on the rung and the blah, blah, blah. It was fucked.
Steve, you have anything to add or say about that match?
No, I agree. Like, it was a good match. The outcome, I didn't expect it, but overall, it was a good match. Enjoyed it.
Definitely. Michael 101591 saying the WrestleMania sign being on fire during the Becky and Doudrop match made the crowd look to it. Even the sign thought the match was so bad. It was so bad it caught fire. So then after this, we had the mixed tag match. It was Miz and Maryse versus Edge and Beth Phoenix. I have to say, I actually kind of thought this match was a little enjoyable, at least for me. I thought it was enjoyable, predictable, because we all knew Edge and Beth Phoenix were going to win. I did like how Maryse gave Edge the Hurricanrana. Impressive. But one kind of thing that kind of did annoy me is I had to say Maryse was not booked, I say properly, if you search me. She is a wrestler, but I feel like they really didn't really showcase her that much, except for that Hurricanrana. And after this loss, I guess Miz and Maryse are 0-3 in mixed tag matches because they lost to John Cena and Nikki Bella. They lost to Brie and Daniel Bryan. But I'm not shocked that they lost. I was expecting them to lose. Michael, you go first.
I'm gonna be completely honest. What are you Maryse, even though she's a former Divas champion, she was never really a good wrestler. I don't know what people were expecting from this match. It was exactly what you thought you would get from a match involving Maryse. I'm sorry. I know this sounds like I'm attacking her, but I'm sorry. Back in the day, she was not good. It was back in the day where Divas Championship really didn't mean much. They were putting it on her, Kelly, whatever. So I don't know what else they wanted from this match. It wasn't good. It wasn't good. It wasn't bad. It was exactly what I thought it was going to be.
Here's the
this mixed tag match was.
Here's the problem. I can bet money. Here's the reason why it's a bore fest. The reason why this is a bore fest is because at day one, you had the same outcome. You had Edge beating Miz with Maryse at ringside and then having Beth Phoenix come out for the help. If you had that whole thing, like Miz is screwing at day one, Maryse is messing with Edge, and Beth Phoenix comes out for the save, but it's not enough for Miz and Maryse because of the brick or whatever, or however they did it. I can't even remember. But if you had Miz and Maryse win at day one, then you would go, okay, now the big guns need to come out. Now we need the full power of Edge and Beth Phoenix in order to beat this idiot couple. Then you would do the whole match and you do this. I think you would have much more interest in this match, regardless. Again, Maryse is not a wrestler. She's fine. It's whatever. Definitely Beth Phoenix is leaps and bounds, way better. But like, the reason why no one cared, including myself, this was the most I don't care. I actually cared more about the Doudrop match than this one. Is because we knew what was going to happen. We knew that it was going to be Edge and Beth Phoenix beating up at Miz and Maryse because that's just the way it goes. Because whatever is like the story from day one into like this, like it literally was the same storyline, same variation. Edge wins. Now Miz and Maryse messed with Edge, and then the next week Edge gets his comeback, and then Edge and Miz and Maryse screw. Like it's the same thing, same thing. Does not matter. Again, WWE, not making things matter, having lazy creative, and the worst is yet to come.
I will get into that. See if you got anything to add or say.
No, I agree with what Brett was saying. Like, yeah, it's just laziness, and they're just not caring, and just it was pointless match.
Definitely. I don't know why this came on before the Rumble though. Let's see comments. Michael 101591 saying, I hope Edge moves on from Miz after this match. Me too. I think all of us hope for that. Willie Rally Sport Rally. Doudrop has got better. She's great as Piper Nevins. She's very good. Deserves a chance. She was never winning. Becky too soon for her. Twitter would have crashed if she did. Michael 101591 saying Edge should have moved on to AJ Styles next. Ooh, I really would like that. Everyone saying AJ Styles versus Edge at Mania.
I want that.
Okay, so next is the men's Royal Rumble. As we did with the women's, I'm gonna go down the list and we'll stop if we want to talk about a certain spot or anything. Okay.
There you go.
Number 1, AJ Styles. Number 2 was Shinsuke Nakamura.
Good spot.
Great. This
Good
is
spot.
great. This is
Good
good.
moment.
Yeah. And we got a little preview of their previous rivalry. So I really like that. Number 3, Austin Theory. Number 4, I want to stop right here. Robert Roode got done dirty, eliminated pretty quickly by AJ Styles. Michael, what are your thoughts on that?
I like the little hints here, their history at Impact. So there's little nods that they did throughout this pay-per-view, which I really appreciated. The AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura thing, Robert Roode and the AJ Styles thing.
There were TNA chants when they faced off.
There's someone backstage who says, I think we should do this. And I know that former Impact, Petey Williams is working as a producer. Wouldn't surprise me if he said, hey, I think this would be nice,
That wouldn't surprise me either.
Shinsuke Nakamura, the Sasha Banks shock elimination of the men's Rumble. He's freaking Intercontinental Champion, second eliminated from the match.
That belt hasn't been defended since Mania.
Yeah.
That belt hasn't been defended on a pay-per-view since Mania. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, he recently came back, I believe, from an injury.
Yeah.
And I feel like the reason why they put the belt on him is trying to keep him from leaving. So, you see it all the time. Please don't leave to somewhere else. Here's the belt.
I'm sure they value him, like
Sure.
Mustafa Ali. Men's Royal Rumble was just as bad as women's. Knoxville and Bad Bunny 2 wasted spot. Michael, any thoughts on Robert Roode? I mean, not Michael. Sorry, Steve.
What?
Sorry, Steve. Any thoughts on Robert Roode getting eliminated so early, or the first 4 entrants?
Oh no, I just gotta say I did like what Michael said and the hints between their history with each other. I did like that part.
Yeah. All right. I like that too. I didn't catch that though. I didn't catch that TNA chance. Nakamura has been injured since December 18th. The hand injury returned last night on SmackDown. Came out early. I think Vince Bruce forgot they have the Intercontinental belt.
They forget a lot of things. So
They do. So number 5 was Rich Holland. Number 6 was Montez Ford. Number 7 was Damian Priest. Number 8 was Sami Zayn. Number 9 was Johnny Knoxville. I'm going to stop right there because I'm actually really glad Sami Zayn eliminated Johnny Knoxville from the Royal Rumble, because I honestly thought Johnny Knoxville was going to be the one to eliminate Sami Zayn from the Royal Rumble. Glad it was the other way around. Michael, thoughts on Sami Zayn eliminating Johnny Knoxville?
I gotta be completely honest. After seeing the cast of Jackass.
Yeah, Jackass.
Yes.
Sorry. Jeez, I don't.
It won't get monetized in the future, but it's okay.
But after seeing the cast get beat up by Umaga many moons ago, I thought Johnny, he is a lot older now. My guy has white hair now. I thought he could do a little bit more, but it is what it is. This is me nitpicking, but him taking that spot from AJ Styles just looked really weird. I don't think they rehearsed it. But yeah, he did fine. I just thought with the way Johnny Knoxville appeared like on multiple episodes of SmackDown, I thought he would do more. I was kind of fingers crossed because they did something over the weekend with the cast of Jackass and Brock Lesnar. I was actually hoping Brock Lesnar would F5 Johnny Knoxville or do something. But other than that, the Drew Carey of the Royal Rumble. So there you go. They like publicity. So it is.
Brett, you got anything to add?
It's fine. You have the payoff that they've been telling since his announcement. Sami Zayn gets him out, and then whoever, I don't even remember, was it AJ? I don't know. Who cares? They go ahead and knock out Sami right away, which
it was AJ.
I'll
keep Steve, going. You got anything to add or say about
No, I don't even know why he was in the Rumble. I guess he's a celebrity, but it was just stupid, and
You know,
I
It's
hate
fine.
you.
I don't mind it. I don't mind Knoxville. Do I care? No, but it's
No, I know.
fine. It's
I
fine.
really have a Peacemaker in the Royal Rumble since I would tie in more than Johnny Knoxville, but that's
Yeah,
just
that
me.
would have. I was wanting that, but
All right. Number 10 was Angelo Dawkins. Number 11, Almost. And I'm going to stop right there. Almost. It took everybody who was left in the Royal Rumble to eliminate Almost, but he was ultimately eliminated by AJ Styles. Michael, thoughts on Almost elimination?
WWE has this Royal Rumble tradition. They get the big guy, they try to make him look good. They have several superstars try to put him over. I mean, this is kind of getting outside of the topic of the Royal Rumble. I don't see the appeal almost. I
He's too
don't
green.
think he's particularly a good wrestler. He kind of reminds me of a little bit better than the Great Khali.
No, he's just Great Khali. He's
Yeah, he
just
is the
modern
Great
day
Khali,
Khali.
honestly.
Like
No,
he doesn't take bumps. He doesn't take any bumps at
Nope.
all, just like Great Khali. And
Nope.
his finisher is like he picks you up by in the neck and picks you up and does this. That's it.
That was Great Khali's old move. So
That's it. He is just Great Khali. That's the whole thing.
I think how Chad Gable was the one leading the guys to try to take out Almost.
I'll tell you this. They're banking on Omos. They released Braun Strowman because they thought they could get Omos for cheaper and he can do what Braun Strowman does, and it's ultimately going to fail. I'm sorry. Omos.
No, it has failed.
It has failed.
Already failed.
He's not there yet. They're in some big trouble. They are in some big trouble with Omos. And that's pretty much it. He did what he needed to do in the Rumble. If you see the other Rumbles, they do a big show. Ezekiel Jackson, they've done it with other people, but yeah.
Viscera, yeah. Bro, you got anything to add or say? No? Oh, Steve, what about you? Anything to add or say about Almost getting eliminated?
like what Michael said, I didn't really care. Of course, the big guy, everybody got eliminated him. All that stupid crap always from the Rumble.
Yeah.
My face tells you how much I care.
Okay, I already read that. I just seen a pic on Twitter of Trish Stratus, feet up, crush Stratus, winning women's on TV. Think Canada locked. Is that true? Canada's on lockdown, Steve? That's why she can't cross the border. Oh
no, I didn't know.
Thought we might see Trish tonight on my list of surprises, along with Paige and Lacey Evans. Yeah, I'm surprised we didn't see Lacey Evans. So then number 12 was Ricochet. Number 13 was Chad Gable. Number 14, Dominic Mysterio. 15, Happy Corbin. 16, Dolph Ziggler. 17, Sheamus. 18, Rick Booth looking like Freddie Mercury. 19, Madcap Moss. 20, Matt Riddle. 21, I'm going to stop right here. Drew McIntyre coming to the Royal Rumble. He was actually my pick to win, but I didn't think he was going to be in it because I thought he was out with an injury. I guess I was wrong. Michael, thoughts on Drew McIntyre?
Oh, I do hear he does have a legit injury, whether he's working through it or not. It could just be another John Cena moment where John Cena, Super Cena, is able to heal up before the Rumble. It was good. I wasn't expecting him to be there. Not to jump the gun. Questionable having him and the winner be last because they could have ultimately got the winner booed.
Yeah.
But we'll see. They've been sleeping on Drew McIntyre. They moved into SmackDown, but they can't really put him in a program with Roman yet because they can't afford Drew to lose. So he's kind of lost in the shuffle. We don't know what to do with him, yet we can't put him in the world title picture. We could elevate the Intercontinental title. I mean, go ahead and put it on him. You know, it could be back in the day where Cena elevated the U.S. title. Just you got to think of something for him to do. Taking him off television with Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss taking him out backstage, I think would have benefited him until they can figure out what to do with him. But now they need to figure out what to do with him because he's back. Maybe he's back.
The thing is that before he got injured, the reports were that for Roman's next feud, because when Roman, I think I can't remember who he was feuding with, but before it was Kevin Owens, maybe it was Kevin Owens, I can't remember. But before Drew got injured, because he was feuding with Madcap Moss and Baron Corbin at that time, it was the line down. It was going to be Jeff Hardy, then it was going to be Drew. Then it was going to be Seth. So what happened is that they released Jeff because of the home show. And then it was going to be Drew. So the next guy was like, all right, we can't use Jeff. All right, Drew's going to be the next guy. Oh, wait, his neck is injured or whatever it would be. So they couldn't do that. So then they went to Seth. Drew very much has been shown and made as a prominent top guy in WWE. I disagree with you there because I do believe that, like, now mind you, the story they're telling, like, Drew will fight Roman. He's not winning, but Drew will fight Roman before he fights Brock. So Drew will probably fight Roman at Chamber or Fastlane or whatever. So we'll get that storyline, but he is not winning. The storyline will, in the end, at Mania, will be Brock and Roman. But Drew McIntyre has been shown as a prominent, like, big top guy in that. I was surprised that Drew showed up. What is it? 21? 21 spots. 21 spots before Drew. I was like, I don't care. I don't care. Nothing has happened. Nothing has happened in this Rumble. Nothing. Absolutely F all nothing. And Drew shows up, and I'm like, oh my God, Drew's here. Hey! And like you had some other surprises, like you had Beth Bunny, and then you had Shane O'Mac, and
you're jumping the gun here.
I know, but I'm just saying. I know, but like this Rumble up until Drew was just like it was so boring. And I'll continue my rant, but here, go ahead. So in 21, Drew.
You got anything to say about number 21, Drew McIntyre?
I was surprised that he showed up, but I agree with Brett. Like it until he showed up, no one really cared about the Rumble match.
Yeah. No, definitely. It wasn't that good, I have to say. Since almost got eliminated, watch, he wins Chamber and goes to WrestleMania face. Don't put that evil out there, Michael 101591. Don't put that evil out there. Will Rally Sports. I said Drew returns tonight, and everybody on YouTube said stupid. He's not back for ages. Was laughing now. Ha, Wrestling World. I said him, Brock, last 2 in the ring. Wow, okay. So number 22 was Kevin Owens. Number 23 was Rey Mysterio. Before I go on, he took a stunner from Kevin Owens. Impressive.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
24, Kofi Kingston. This one we got to talk about. Did he botch?
Yes, that was a botch.
Yeah, that was a botch.
What was supposed to happen is that he was supposed to get thrown off by Drew or whatever. And what you saw is that he was supposed to land on the edge of the barricade without his feet touching. But what happened is because he wasn't able to jump or get thrown far enough, his feet just like slid against the bottom. And what happens is because WWE plays it for realsies, because you saw his feet touch, like you saw the ref, like he's grabbing, and he's like, oh, I don't. And you hear the announcers go, you hear Pat and Michael Cole go, did his feet touch? I don't know, because they're trying to play it off as if he didn't. And you hear the ref, like you see the ref just going right up to him and kind of telling him what's going on, and then they show the replay, and you see his feet touch, and they play it as in like, oh, he touched the ground. He has been eliminated. And when that happened, you just saw from his spot to the next spot, just the entire thing died. Just everything that was planned right there just ended. Just the whole thing just died. And it sucks. My heart bleeds for Kofi, but God, it just off to the mid card you go, Kofi. Off to the tag team division where no one cares.
You got anything to say, Michael, about the botch?
No, I mean, what can you do? Last year, the whole internet blew up because I believe there was a spot where Rhea and Bianca went over the ropes, and I believe the fans caught that Bianca's foot hit the floor first, which would have meant that the winner, would have technically been eliminated from the Royal Rumble. So the fans, they blew up social media. They said, hey, you know what? Bianca's foot touched the floor first. I don't think they wanted a repeat of that. So they kind of just said, you know what? We don't want to deal with the fans. Kofi, I'm sorry. Next year.
Yeah. Steve, any thoughts on the Kofi Kingston botch?
No, it just sucks that his streak is over of trying to touch the floor, but it is what it is.
Yes. Number 25 was Otis. Number 26 was Big E. This was my second pick. I was like, if Drew McIntyre ain't it, Big E's my second pick. 27, I think we need to take a pause and talk about. It was none other than Bad Bunny.
Boo.
He looked great. He looked great.
So, Michael, you go first. Thoughts on Bad Bunny entering at number 27?
I thought he did good. I mean, he loves the WWE. It really looks like he tries. It looks like he. I'm sure he flew to the PC Center to plan some of those spots. Some of those spots were repeated. You know, he did the Code Red. It's almost like his signature move now. I was very impressed. He took the F5 from Brock Lesnar, so kudos to him.
Kudos to him for doing that.
I text you and I said, why do I get a feeling that Bad Bunny's going to win this?
Yeah, you did. You did text me that.
WWE publicity-wise, they're like, why do I feel like Bad Bunny's going to win this when I know the WWE so well? But as soon as he took the F5, he got tossed out of the ring. I'm like, okay, cool. But other than that, you know what? I mean, when you can get a celebrity in there and they're that dedicated and they can do the spots.
Like I would have been like if it was like that's why I like Bad Bunny over Johnny Knoxville, because Johnny Knoxville, I very much feel like here's a boatload of money, promote your movie, here you go. Feud with Sami Zayn because we don't know what else to do. Here you go. Bad Bunny shows up, he can go. He like his match at Mania, well, like him and Damian Priest versus Miz and Morrison, one of the best matches at Mania last year. Hands down, one of the best matches. Like, I loved that match. Bad Bunny taking a Canadian Destroyer, like doing the whole shebang ring, him skinning the cat. That was great. Like, oh, love it. Just like Bad Bunny is really good. Like, I was extremely surprised Bad Bunny showed up, and like Bad Bunny is not a waste of a spot. I'm glad.
Michael 101-591 saying it was a waste of a spot.
Yeah, well, like, and again, it's the Rumble. It's the Rumble. Like, I'm not like like, it's fine. And here's someone who cares about. I want to wrestle well. I care. It's not just me showing up. I do an elbow drop and I jump from the top rope and I'll try to do a frog splash, but it's just me falling. Like, no, it's just he cares. He wrestles and he trains and he gets better and like. Do I plan for him? Do I want to see him being like a big, huge, like mega wrestler? No, but like this was great. This was good.
I really hate the Canadian Destroyer on Dolph Ziggler.
That was great. That was awesome.
Yeah. Steve, you got anything to say about Bad Bunny?
No, it was good. He did well. I'm just glad he didn't win, but no, he did what he had to do. That's all I have to say.
Now we're going to talk about the next one. Number 28, the best in the world, Shane O'Mac coming back to the WWE by entering the Royal Rumble. Michael Chau, you go first. Thoughts on Shane O'Mac coming back, entering at number 28?
I gotta be completely honest. I don't care. It was. I mean, he has a very, very recognizable entrance theme. Gets the crowd hyped. I don't care if he wasn't in it. I wouldn't care if he was in it. It was fine. It's.
And he eliminated Kevin Owens. Like, what the hell?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they were trying to tell the story. They were feuding. But he better not show up on SmackDown. That was part of their last match. Shane McMahon is gone from SmackDown. That was part of their stipulated match.
You think WWE gives a crap? Like,
no, get the MIB laser, get him out of here. But Shane O'Mac, part of the Final Four. So
that's so dumb too.
Michael 101-591 saying Shane being in the Rumble is just random. Yep, definitely.
Well, they released so many superstars. They had to get random people in here.
Exactly, but like your Final Four should have been Kevin Owens should have been a part of that, not Shane O'Mac. Like that was dumb. That was so dumb.
Steve, anything to say about Shane McMahon being in the Royal Rumble?
Nope, could care less.
All right, so we're gonna talk about the next one. Number 29, St. Louis's own Randy Orton entering the Royal Rumble. I knew whoever eliminated him was going to get booed because they were in his hometown of St. Louis. And and I kind of thought for a second that maybe they will let Randy win, but of course, typical WWE booking, not allowing a wrestler to win in their hometown. Michael, thoughts on Randy Orton?
No, I mean they try to pitch the fact, maybe Randy Orton might tie Steve Austin with the most wins in the Royal Rumble. It's like, no, I don't think so. I mean, Randy Orton's fine. Well, he wasn't going to make it to the final two because then Brock Lesnar would get booed. So he had to go out before. I'm glad they didn't do the whole tag teams turning on tag teams. I was kind of expecting maybe Randy Orton might throw Riddle out.
I'm so glad they didn't. I hate those spots. Like when Street Profits got thrown out, they got thrown out by I think a different tag team. Almost. Oh, they got thrown out by Almost. Okay, well, whatever. But it was one after another. So it's like Montez didn't stay in longer than Montel.
Montel. Whoa.
Or, I'm sorry.
Montez and Angelo.
And Angelo Dawkins. Thank you.
Montel's a singer.
I'm so good at this. Yay me. But no, none of the tag teams turned to each other. Like that was great. So and like you have all of that. So no, but Randy Orton doesn't need to win in his hometown. Like it's the Rumble. I'm okay with that. Randy doesn't win in his hometown. Like, and mind you, I want him in RK Bro. I don't want him going for the singles belt. Just have him be in RK Bro, do awesome stuff with the Alpha Academy, which is the best thing on Raw, hands down. Like, I'm actually looking forward. Now, I'm a bit worried about Raw tomorrow with whatever, the scooter race they do.
Tomorrow? You mean Monday? Tomorrow,
Monday,
Sunday.
Whatever. I'm so used to these pay-per-views being on Sundays. So, like, whatever.
I'm glad this pay-per-view was on a Saturday.
But anyway.
Seriously.
But anyway.
Steve, you have anything to say about Randy Orton?
No.
Randy.
No, he did what he had to do, but yeah, he wasn't going to win anyways.
Okay. So let's see. Rally Sports saying, oh crap. Shane O'Mac, his dad is owner. No surprise, Shane in the Rumble wasn't happy he eliminated one of my favorite wrestlers. Boo. People, Michael 101591 saying people were saying that Cody Rhodes was going to be in the Rumble. LOL.
No.
Rally Sports saying Randy Orton great and Riddle bro. Randy Orton Hall of Fame easily. Do you guys agree? Yes, Randy Orton is a future Hall of Famer.
Yeah, he's
But before we talk about the last spot, I was kind of shocked the fact that we did not get Veer in this Rumble. Was very shocking. Poor Veer has been lost since October. Since October, he cannot find his way to Monday Night Raw. I am concerned about that.
I would have loved it if there was a spot. Let's just say spot number 28. It counts down to 0. It plays Veer, but then it goes coming soon, and then no one comes out. No one comes out at all. That would have been the best thing.
I mean, like, I'm not gonna lie. If Veer came out like as number 30, I would have laughed my goddamn ass off. Like, I would have laughed so hard, only because he's still coming. Phrasing.
What about you, Steve? Are you disappointed that Veer did not come out?
I don't know. Like, I don't even think he's coming. I think maybe a month from now, but no. Who knows when he's gonna go to Raw?
He's been lost since October. Poor Veer.
He's stuck in main event. Fine.
Just like T-Bar and Mace. So number 30 was none other than actually my co-host Michael Chau. Number 30.
Yes.
I have number 30 in your name. That's why.
Boo! Who is this guy?
You knew the theme song. Michael.
Screw me.
All right. No, in all seriousness, number 30 was none other than the Beast Incarnate, the Conqueror, Brock Lesnar. And I have to say, I am not surprised that happened because I knew that if Roman won, Lesnar had to lose. And I am not surprised that he is entered this Royal Rumble. I honestly thought he was going to beat up somebody and take their spot and enter, but that doesn't seem to be the case. So the final two were, Brock Lesnar and Drew McIntyre. I guess kind of that throwback from when Drew eliminated Brock Lesnar to win.
Good.
But other than that, Brock Lesnar is the victor. Where do we go from here? I think we're gonna go with Roman versus Brock Lesnar for the Universal title at WrestleMania. That's just me.
Really?
No, that is Roman versus Brock. Yes, that is the plan. Yeah. That is the plan, hands down.
Michael, what are your thoughts on Brock Lesnar entering number 30 and him, the final two being him and Drew McIntyre and Brock Lesnar winning? And where do you think that WWE is going with this?
Okay, so I think a lot of us kind of knew that Brock was going to come in at number 30. I wasn't expecting Brock and Drew at the end. Part of me, I was kind of like, well, maybe Drew might actually win this. But because the thing is, we still have the chamber. There used to be a year where it's like, oh, well, the person who didn't win the Rumble match, the other person on the other side of the brand would win the chamber match to challenge their champion. So I'm like, maybe Brock he enters the chamber last, goes in there for a good 10 minutes. Maybe there is some Saudi Arabia money in Brock Lesnar being in the chamber. So I don't know. When Brock got in there and I saw that Riddle was in there, I'm like, all right, here we go. Come on, let's do this, right? But they didn't do much with that. I mean, it's well documented that Lesnar does not like Riddle in real life. So I thought there could have been a close spot between Riddle and Lesnar. But other than that, the predictable person won. We're getting the predictable match at Mania. It is what it is. It is what it is. How did Brock Lesnar get into the Rumble? Well, because of his advocate, Paul Heyman. So,
Brett, you got anything? What, you got anything that?
I'm tired of this. Like, look, Brock Lesnar is amazing. Brock Lesnar, hands down, like, he is great. And honestly, this run that he has been having as like farmer Brock Lesnar has been great. I love him. I actually like him as a face more than a heel. He's far more entertaining and far more fun to watch, but he doesn't need this. He could literally just go up to Roman and go, "Hey, I'll fight you at Mania." And he'll go, "Okay." And then that's it. Like, you should have had whoever wins this Rumble will be the one to fight Bobby Lashley. But, whoever wins the Rumble is going to main event night 2 at Mania. Fine. You give it to Brock. Fine. Like, it is the most whatever. I don't care. Like, we have all known this. We have all seen this. This is so predictable. And I don't mind things being predictable. Like, at Full Gear, Hangman Adam Page beats Omega.
Try to stick with the subject, Brett.
But I am. That match was predictable. We knew Hangman's winning that match. There is no way that Hangman is not beating Omega to win the belt because of the storyline that they were telling from blank to blank. This was also predictable, but the reason why people cared more about Hangman and Omega instead of whatever the heck they're doing over for Brock and Roman is because nothing matters. No build, like just Brock is here, and because we all know Brock has shown up to kill the crap out of Mustafa Ali at Money in the Bank. Brock has shown up as number 30 in multiple Rumbles or whatever. He shows up in matches that he's not announced for, that he's not a part of, to go ahead and win it and become number 1 contender or to win the belt or whatever it would be. This is the same thing that we have seen all the time because WWE cannot make new stars, and they go, all right, fine, put Brock in this spot. And yes, at day 1, it sucked. That wasn't the plan, and they needed to do something big because it was the first pay-per-view. I wasn't mad at that when that happened, and Brock having the belt was surprising. Everyone talked, and I wasn't mad at that. I would have liked it to be something else, but it is what it is. This, on the other hand, I don't care. None of this matters. Great. We're going to Brock doesn't need this. Brock doesn't need this at all. This is in this entire pay-per-view was just I'm not a fan of this. I don't like this. I don't care. And the reason why I don't care is because they don't know how to build to anything. They don't know how to build to anything.
It's almost kind of lazy booking when you go well, we don't know how to get Brock Lesnar to face Roman. Let's just give him the Royal Rumble win. I'm personally not a big fan of repeat winners. So you do that, and it kind of takes the cachet of being a winner at the Royal Rumble away. That's kind of one of the reasons why they got rid of the King of the Ring, because they really didn't know what to do with the winners, and it was just too hard for them to kind of book. So they kind of just we're not going to do the King of the Ring anymore because it's hard to book this, and we're just not going to deal with it.
Well, the King of the Ring is for the workhorse. That's the thing, is that when you became King of the Ring, it actually mattered because you're I'm the workhorse. When you're king, you actually were it mattered. It's all of this for the past 2 decades or so, at least 15 years. WWE have been causing self-inflicting wounds on its booking and everything. Even now with all the mass releases and everything. Again, this is just another nothing matters. It's now about making content. It's now about let's vomit this thing out. Let's vomit this thing out. Let's vomit this thing out. They don't know how to tell stories. But the problem, here's what kills me. What kills me is that when they care, hence Roman, when they can tell stories, and when they do, it's so good. It's so good. They are the best at doing it. But God damn it! Why are you so lazy? God, I just. Vinnie Mac needs to step down. It's not going to happen because he's going to die in the chair. All of us know this. He is not stepping down from creative. He's going to die in the chair. He's not stopping. God, and he has too many yes men around him, like Pritchard and Kevin Dunn and everyone who can't. God.
Brie. Steve, do you have anything to say on Lesnar winning, Lesnar being final 2?
No, I agree. Like, it was predictable after that Lashley match, and yeah, it's just lazy booking, and yeah, Vince is gonna die in the chair. And yes, man, it's just not gonna change. It's gonna be all bull crap for the next 5 years, and so on.
Or longer.
Oh, longer until he dies in the chair. But yeah, it is what it is.
Michael 101591 saying, I was surprised Lesnar was in it, saying men's Rumble was a 1 out of 10. The pay-per-view as a whole was a 2 out of 10. Oh, okay. So I guess, yeah, that pretty much concludes the Royal Rumble, the pay-per-view. This was a really long pay-per-view. Oh, let me see. Oh, hold on. I missed a comment. Yeah, Raleigh said, yeah, funny, Michael. It's 2:30. Start my own company with Tony Khan. Be a free agent. Enter Rumble. I did not think Cody or Dean Ambrose, like everyone on Twitter, said we're entering the Rumble. Yeah, I did not agree with that either. But overall, I have to say, this was not a bad pay-per-view. I was a little long. I was expecting it to be long because each Rumble match was like an hour. In terms of matches, I really did like the Seth versus Roman match. I disagree with the finish, but I really like that match. And if it would have been a clean finish, that probably would have been my favorite match of the night.
Would have been great.
I like the women's Rumble a lot better than the men's Rumble.
But it was still very just okay. It definitely was better than the men's, but it was still just very okay.
Yeah, definitely. Overall, just based on the matches, quality, everything, out of 10, I'd say, in my opinion, I would just say a 6 out of 10. Out of 5, I'd say a 3. A 3 out of 5, 6 out of 10. That's me. You guys can feel free to disagree. Michael, you can go first. If you had a favorite match, what was your favorite match? What did you like? What did you dislike about this pay-per-view? Overall rating out of 10 and out of 5. What was a better Rumble, men or women?
I think the opening match was probably my favorite of the night. A little bit split on what was the worst. It was either the It couple versus Grit couple, or the Doudrop versus Becky Lynch match. Probably one of the worst ones of the night. I thought it was okay. It wasn't the worst Rumble. It didn't seem memorable, if that makes sense. I don't know. When you watch the Rumble, you're like, hey, check out this. Check out this. You know, Ronda's already been at the Royal Rumble, so it's not like she's never been. We didn't get a winner that we didn't think that we weren't going to get, so it's kind of a predictable pay-per-view. It was okay. I have 2 notes real quick. One was, there were no, talking about not building new stars, there were no NXT superstars in either Rumble, which I think was a mistake. Good point. Because NXT 2.0 has not been doing so good. It's slipping in the ratings, and
it's unwatchable. It's almost unwatchable.
It's such a bad show. We've recently had some NXT superstars appear on main events, and you need to showcase NXT. So there should be no excuse why NXT superstars should not have been in the Rumble this year. And my last one is, and I actually texted you about this, Datila. When AJ Styles came out during the Royal Rumble, he did the Shawn Michaels pose for some odd reason. So I don't know whether I'd like to say they're not, but Saudi Arabia money makes anyone say yes. So people have been wanting a AJ Styles versus Shawn Michaels match as far back as when AJ Styles debuted with WWE. Whether they're going to do that at Saudi Arabia or WrestleMania, we have no idea, but I'm wishing for the best, because last time Shawn Michaels was in the match in Saudi Arabia, it did not end up too well and was one of the worst matches I've ever seen. So there you go. Other than that, I thought this pay-per-view, honestly, wasn't the worst, wasn't the best, wasn't memorable. Predictable winners, 3 out of 5.
Okay, your turn, Brett.
This pay-per-view was like, it started off well. It started off with the whole Shield thing, and that was great. And then you got a DQ finish, which, and then you had the Women's Rumble, which was good. It was fine. Ronda winning, not as mad about it. But again, like, there were just some good spots, but it was fine. I've seen better Women's Rumbles and stuff like that. It was fine. Then you had the Becky and Doudrop match, which was fine. You had probably my favorite match was the Lashley Brock match, because you didn't have a DQ finish, and you got a Hoss match, and you got some great drama in it, which was great. That was probably my favorite match. And then you had the Grit versus It match, which who cares? It was fine. Like, the wrestling was fine. It wasn't like, it was just nothing mattered. And then the Men's Rumble was the most boring Rumble match I've ever seen. I've never been more bored watching a Rumble match in probably the time I've been watching the Royal Rumble. That was boring. Nothing mattered. All the spots, just who cares? And then Brock winning, cause duh. I don't know. I just, out of 5, maybe a 3. I'd probably give this a 2. This is so missable. You could go ahead and watch Raw. They'll do a previously on video package, because of course they do, because they got to fill 3 hours somehow. Not with wrestling. No, don't do that. No. But it was 2 out of 5. 5 out of 10, whatever. Like, this Rumble was so, God, it started off great, and then it just, as it went on, just.
I'm not that excited to head to the WrestleMania, if that makes sense. Usually after the Rumble, you're like, whoa, look at these winners. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to WrestleMania. I just got done watching the Royal Rumble. I'm like, I don't care. If I could be completely honest.
Unfortunately, none of us do.
Because it's predictable. We saw this coming. We like, WWE television recently has been almost unbearable to watch. Like, Raw is terrible. NXT is the worst.
Well, I don't know why you guys watch NXT. I don't watch NXT.
Who watches NXT?
And SmackDown is boring. Like, nothing matters.
Yeah. All right. Well, Steve, do you have what about you, Steve? What are your thoughts? Overall thoughts on this
I
pay-per-view?
like Lesnar and Lashley. The women's was better than the men's. It was an alright pay-per-view, but I don't have it out of 5, but out of 10, I give it a 4. And yeah, like, you're supposed to be excited for WrestleMania, and I'm not excited going into WrestleMania because it was show, and it's just WWE.
I love the Rumbles. Every year I enjoy the Rumble, no matter how bad WWE television is. The Rumble is probably the one pay-per-view, and maybe Mania, where I like, all right, let me see what's going on. Man, this Rumble I don't care about. God, this Rumble was just boring.
Have you seen Sarah Logan Liv Morgan backstage crying? Or say she missed a really nice? I haven't seen it yet. I'll probably see it after this. 5 out of 10. Like Mickey, watch Impact. That was awesome. Like Drew returned, like Brock winning, because I predicted it, and then I went back to 2010. I agree with the right to censor. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I think the road to WrestleMania. Right now, I'm not excited for it. I don't know if I will be excited for it down the road, but I will say I'm curious to see what other matches we're going to have and what the book's going to be like. You know, last year, Sasha versus Bianca, arguably one of the worst built matches, but it was hands down the best match of night 1. So, you know, I don't want to be optimistic only to get crushed. So I'm going to just try to, you know, not expect anything fun or anything like, oh my.
It's just their track record. I can be optimistic about if Impact messes up. I can be optimistic about it. I'm like, well, you know, blah, blah, blah. AEW, there have been many times, you and I, Dr. Left, talked about this many times, and I've been like, oh, this, that, and the other, blah, 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 blah. But, like, I haven't been led astray. Like, the reason why I go, oh, great, here's this, great. My hopes, I don't really get them that high, is because all their track record continues to show you don't matter. What the fans want, you barely matter. Like, it's frustrating And the reason why I get so mad and upset is because I want to like this. This isn't fun for me to bash on WWE. I like these people. I like Becky and Drew and Brock and Roman and all of these guys. I just want good booking that makes sense. That's it.
I will say this before we sign off. I will say this. I wish that WWE's booking would be so much better. It's not the wrestlers. It's always been creative. It sucks because I know they're very talented, and it makes it hard. Honestly, WWE's creative and booking makes it so hard sometimes to sit here and actually review the show, because it's not the same thing every week. They find a way to mess things up, and that just makes it so hard sometimes. It really does. And I don't ever blame the wrestlers. I always blame creative and WWE, because sometimes I get a headache just trying to figure out their booking.
And really, it's not even like creative, because if you listen to Freddie Prinze Jr., like he has a podcast and he talks about his times of writing in WWE, and there are multiple writers that have said and reported, like they care. The writers who are part of WWE care about this and are as big of fans as we are. The problem is that you have a madman who's a 76-year-old madman who goes ahead and sees it and rips it up and changes it the day of.
Michael, didn't you tell me that Vince was changing the script before the Royal Rumble?
Yeah, backstage they said that Vince was literally changing the script up literally hours before the pay-per-view.
Yeah. Like, so you can't do that. You can't tell storylines. Like, I'm sorry that I keep doing this, but like Tony Khan had his first four champions picked out before AEW went live. He knew, this is how I'm booking. I'm going to go from here to here to here to here to here to here. He chose Jericho, then he dropped it to Moxley, then he dropped it to Omega, then he dropped it to Hangman. Like, you have plans. The entire TBS tournament, the TBS title tournament, was built for Jade. Jade was going to win at the very end. Even with the whole things that happened with his controversial tweet on New Year's Eve and everything, there were people in AEW that were saying hey, Tony Khan, you may not want to do it. You may want to give it to Ruby instead. And even you and I thought, I was voting Ruby. But them putting it on Jade, I'm like, oh, that makes total sense. And I'm not mad that Jade has the TBS championship. But Tony stuck to his guns and went, Jade's going to become the champion. And that's great. And it's fine. The reason I say that is that you have a plan, stick to it, tell your story. And this whole thing that WWE does and Vince McMahon does, they have this thing called Wrestle Talk likes to call it the 3-week push. Pretty much, if you can't get over in 3 weeks, you just get dropped to the mid card or undercard or whatever. If it cannot get over in 3 weeks, you're done. That's what happened to Karrion Kross. That's what happened to a bunch of other people. The 3-week push. It's just infuriating.
Yeah. Well, that being said, that concludes this review. Thank you to everybody who tuned in and who was listening. Currently on the road to 400 subscribers. Help me out. Please don't forget to subscribe, and leave a comment. Make sure you hit that bell so you get notified whenever I go live or release a new video. Michael, I know you've been MIA or on hiatus for the last few months. Do you have anything you want to plug or promote?
Yeah, I mean, you guys can still check out my YouTube channel at Michael Chau TV. I've been planning a relaunch, but at the beginning of the year, I was dealing with some minor health issues, so it's kind of been delayed. But I'm going to try and get out as soon as possible. Go check it out. My last one, honestly, was a review of Resident Evil, which was not good. Don't watch that movie. Yeah, other than that, I'm going to be putting out new stuff soon. I think I'm going to create a separate channel for my gaming. And yeah, I'll be doing some live streams of wrestling too. So you'll be able to see me die during 3 hours of Raw. Come on through. So please go ahead.
We'll join you so that we'll join you in the chat so that you don't die alone.
I will try to get it up as soon as the Elimination Chamber. So Vince, send the check and I will do it. So there you go.
What about you, Brett?
All righty then. So you can follow me on I'm part of the Brotherhood of Geeks. It is youtube.com/Brotherhood of Geeks. We do video game unboxings and we cover video game news. We have a PlayStation podcast called Dual Shocked. Our next episode, which should be going up within the week, we're going to be talking about the Activision, the Activision Blizzard buyout from Microsoft and how that may be kind of creating a monopoly within the video game industry, or at least our opinions on the buyout. Horizon Forbidden West is coming out very soon. Elden Ring is coming out very soon. I'll have unboxings and reviews of those also. I do reaction videos to pretty much anything and everything. You can also follow me on Twitter at DualShockedBOG. That's DualShocked BOG. A lot of my Twitter is full of wrestling because I love wrestling. Recently it's been a lot of Danhausen because love that Danhausen. Yes, I need the monies. Yes. You can also follow me there. You can also follow me on Facebook, facebook.com/The Brotherhood of Geeks. We also have a Twitch channel when we stream at twitch.tv/Brotherhood of Geeks. And we do have an Instagram at instagram.com/Brotherhood of Geeks. So yeah, subscribe. Everyone go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel because that's the whole shebang ring. And please watch and let everyone you know about the Brotherhood of Geeks because we're awesome.
What about you, Steve?
I'm just going to keep on doing top 10 lists and keep on with that breaking news. And yeah, just lots of wrestling stuff and non-wrestling content.
As for yours truly, this is Rangers of Wrestling. I've been working on revamping my Power Ranger content, so hopefully I get something out next month for Valentine's Day. And I'll bring back Morphin Mondays. I'm still trying to work on to bring it back Slammin' Saturdays where I review wrestling toys. But I'm still working on that. And I go live stream Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, occasionally weekends whenever there's wrestling. And yeah, and so once again, thank you guys all so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on Monday after Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, goodbye.
Bye.